right, YouTube, this is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Monday afternoon. I have the day off. Everything is wonderful. Life is good in Mr. Mean's world. I just wanted to pop out a video here on the Mr. Mean paints because I've neglected the channel for a while. And I didn't want to do that anymore. So, not necessarily painting today, although starting real soon, we're going to start trying to hobby paint at least 30 minutes a night. I can't promise I can do it every night. For those of you that follow the channel, you know I have an autistic child, and sometimes it's just not going to happen. But that's the plan, is to try and paint at least a couple nights a week, at minimum 30 minutes. I'm going to try to stream it. As you can see, I've got my setup working here. Life is pretty good. So just today, anybody who's moved into a house knows you lose shit when you move. And I thought I lost these miniatures. I thought I either threw them away or I sold them, and I couldn't remember. For those of you that have followed the channel from the beginning, I'm a huge fan of Parabellum and their Conquest Last Argument of Kings and Conquest First Blood. It's two games that use the same rules, the same miniatures. First Blood is a skirmish game. Last Argument of Kings is their rank and file, their big troops. And so I found all my miniatures. I have two armies. I have Nords and I have city-states. I love Romans and I love Vikings. So these are two armies that I really dig. And I found all my miniatures. So the Nords were some of their first production print runs from a couple of years ago. So the detail is always good, but the miniatures themselves were not necessarily fantastic. They're still good. But anyway, what I wanted to do was just kind of go through the goodies that I have for each of them and what I've been working on, and then show you guys the scale, because I think the scale on these guys is fantastic. So I'm going to put a couple things here. These are one-page rules, dice for the I forgot the name of the Shadow Stalkers. That's the faction logo. So these are resin dice that you can print, and you can paint them. And so you can see I'm in the process of starting to paint them. I'm not very good at it, but they're painted. They seem to roll very random. So I printed a couple of these. I like the size. I'm not a big fan of D6s, but OPR, one-page rules, furthermore referred to as OPR, uses D6s. It's kind of, those that don't know, it is the analogous to Games Workshop's games. They wanted to come out with a rule set that wasn't as convoluted and didn't change every 6 months and so on and so forth. I'm a big fan. I love Warhammer's Games Workshop's miniatures. I have quite a few of them, but I just don't like their prices. I don't like their business tactics, blah, blah, blah. And I like OPR. I pay $10 a month to belong to their Patreon, and you get a lot of free stuff with that. You get free rules. The rules are free to anybody. You can go on the website, you can download the initial one-page rules. They're literally front and back, one page. That's it. Or you can pay $5 or $10, you get access to the in-depth rule book. But anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about, although it is cool. This is a 3D resin miniature that I printed. I have a Uniformation GK2, and I have the curing station and the sonic wash that go with it. I bought them directly from Uniformation last July, and I'm going to tell you, I love the printer. It is an amazing printer. It prints very well. It's pretty easy to set up. I'm new to this hobby as far as 3D printing, and I have printed so much stuff. But anyway, I wanted to show you, these are from my OPR Dwarven army. These are my frontline troops. This is just a Dwarven warrior. Well, you can see that, and it's primed. I printed it in black resin. This was from Rescale Miniatures. I really like their take on dwarves. So this is a Dwarven miniature. I believe this guy is also from Rescale. He doesn't have his other arm on yet, but you can see he's got a cool shield. So if you couldn't tell, I'm real big in the dwarves. This is another dwarf miniature that I printed, I 3D resin printed. It is not from Rescale. I don't remember who this is from, but it is a super cool miniature. This is my player in my Pathfinder 2nd Edition in his home game. In my home game, this is his cleric, and this is a miniature that I like better than the one he's currently using. The cool thing about a 3D resin printer is, for my tabletop RPG group, we play Pathfinder 2nd edition, I have 3D printed all of their characters and painted them, and I 3D print and paint all of the monsters. Like here is a giant werewolf that I'm working on. I'm not sure if they're actually going to encounter it, but I'm a huge fan of werewolves, and so I really dug this miniature, and so I'm in the process of painting it now. And then here's a medium-sized creature. This is like kind of like an ogrin or an ogre, but I have a thing for hammers. I don't know, something about warhammers and fantasy just really gets me going. I really like it. So this is another miniature I painted, and I primed him. He's ready to start getting some paint. And then I'm working on a Beastman army for one-page rolls for my fantasy army. And these are some of the warriors. And this one broke. I actually printed 2, and this one broke when I was taking him off the sprue or the supports. This is pure resin. This is a light gray resin, but you can see the detail on there. Let's see if that'll focus. Will it focus if I put my hand under it? Yeah, there you go. You can see the detail on there is pretty solid. You can see the fangs. You can see his claw, but one of the claws broke. But still, very cool looking miniature. It's got some straps on his back and stuff. And that's 3D. I 3D printed this. Here's another one. As you can see, I like this guy a lot. He's got his arrow. He's ready to shoot. Got a quiver on his back. Very well done. The detail is great. His tail is sticking out. This was a solid resin piece. I just printed it and put it on a base. These are unprimered. They are clean. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the 3D pressing. So this is unprimed, right? This is bare resin. This is primed. They do make a light gray resin that looks very similar to this, and I really like it. But I just wanted to show you that I'm working on. It's got a little bit of weight to it. I like it. But it's a solid resin base as well. I printed this base, realizing afterwards that printing resin bases is kind of a waste of money because you can go on Amazon, and I bought these off of Amazon, so you can see there. Now it is made in China. I decided to buy them now, so I got on before the tariffs. But these are just, I think, 32 millimeter bases that, they're hollow. I can put a magnet underneath them. It's from Titawu. Display your collection. So here's a clear one. That'll be nice. Maybe that'll go for my big, for this dwarf, that he might go nice on this nice clear base. But that was a little freebie they threw in there. And what's cool about this is 100 of these 32 millimeter bases for under $10. It was $9.95. I'm a Prime member, so there was no shipping, and then I think the tax. So it was under $11 total. But I got 100 of these. I can't beat that even with resin printing. So just something to be aware of. If you're going to print resin bases and stuff, be aware that unless you're painting a textured base, something like this is a solid resin piece, and it's literally pennies on the dollar. But the point is, it still costs money, right? And resin's not going to get any cheaper because of the current state of tariffs and everything. So I bought 100 of these 30. I like the 32, even though most of my miniatures are 28 to 32 millimeter. I like the bigger base. It takes up almost a square inch. These bases are a little bit bigger, so I'll probably use these for monsters, and I'll use the regular 28 millimeter for my player characters. This was another 3D resin base that I printed, and as you can see, it's solid resin. It's got a little bit of weight to it. This is unprimed, so this has to be painted, and it's a nice base. But there's no need to print this and waste resin, But again, we're not here to talk about that, so we're here to talk about the cool stuff, Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, and First Blood. So this is the Conagir, I think his name is. This is my leader for my warband. This is the size of the miniature, so this is obviously way bigger than 32 millimeter. I'm pretty sure this is a 32 millimeter dwarf, and as you can see, he towers over him. He's pretty big, he's pretty chunky. Great detail on the miniature. I really like it. This is the leader of my warband. If you don't know much about Conquest Last Argument of Kings, the cool part is they use cards for initiative. So you can see these are all of my, there he is. Oh no, that's the blooded. There's the, that's just a card. Oh, then this is my, so somewhere I have the cards for the rest of my guys. Let's see, we'll just jump over. This is the pole mark for City State. He's kind of like your leader, and this is a great model. And if I remember correctly, yeah, I did put this guy together. I just haven't put his cape or his base on. This is fine cast, not fine cast, but this is resin as well. So you can see the size comparison here. They're pretty equal. This guy's a chunky boy. This is going to paint up so nice. I can't wait to get some paint on this guy. And then this is his shield, and he has the option of a sword arm or the pole arm. I obviously gave him the pole arm. He has a nice cape. Here's his base. They have new bases now that there's a divot in the middle instead of that bump. So you can put a magnet, I think it's a 10 millimeter magnet you can put in there now. And then obviously I'll have to clip him off, but he goes on there. And then if you put him in a command structure, if you're playing Last Argument of Kings, he would go on here like that. And then he would take up this full base because he's a commander. He's your leader. And you could put other miniatures on here if you so desired, but they kind of do this to differentiate that he's the leader. But their rank and file bases are 4 each. And then he has a card. Let me see here. You always get the obligatory card, but this is the Polemarks card, and there's a QR code on there that you can scan, and that'll give you instructions on how to put the miniature together and the rules for this miniature. The cool thing about Conquest is all the rules are online for free. So, and they have a very robust army builder. Oh, is that garbage? Yeah, that's garbage. I don't need that. They have a very robust army builder. So I highly, if you're looking for an alternative to Games Workshop, or if you just want to try a new miniatures game with really cool miniatures, then I can't recommend Conquest enough. Again, there is a City States pole march character, and of course it's the same on the side. And I have a bunch of tokens for this game. I bought into it pretty heavily. When you buy it, you get plenty of bases. As you can see, I've got a ton of bases. And there's the big bases for the big guys. So what I wanted to do is just show you a couple of the miniatures and what I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to try to stream this. This is a guy I need to paint. I think what I'd like to do is get everything put together and then start painting. So it'll be a couple of videos of me putting miniatures together. This is an Ugger, I believe, is what their name is. They're kind of a trollkin. So you can see it's pretty chunky. If this is the leader, look at the size of that guy compared to the leader. He's a beast. And these guys take up one round base by themselves, one larger base. Let me get one out here to show you. So these are the two options of bases you have. So you can put four miniatures. It creates one stand, right? And it's X amount of points. Or you can have one big guy on a stand. So like the Minotaurs, if you follow my channel, you know I painted the Minotaurs. This guy would go on here and you would do your base, and boom, you would have one of these. And you can see, you could add this into your army. So it's pretty cool how they do things. And there's formation and facing and everything. But I really like the look of these guys. So that's I believe those are the Uggers, if I remember correctly. Let me check the cards here. Let's see. Yeah, I believe that's the Uggers. These are I think these are Trollkin. Ugger, yeah, Ugger. It says in the upper right hand corner. Trolls, which I think, yeah, I have a troll put together. So these are Uggers, which are basically giants and humans who bred together. And I think if I remember correctly, the way the story goes is they were underground, locked in when the bad guys took over the planet, and they started, mating, so to speak. And so eventually we got these mini giants, and then we've got our trolls. And these guys are obviously, almost the same size. The difference is these guys the humans started eating the trolls, and it caused them, because the trolls regenerate, and they started causing them to mutate. And so this is what we got. But these are gray plastic. They're not push fit. You glue them together. They come out really well. As you can see, they went together pretty much with no problem. And then we have the Fenrir wolves. I think, do I have a card for these guys? I do. The Fenrir blood pack, and that's the blooded. That's the big guy. So the Fenrir beast pack, and you get 3 of these in a group. Now again, they're going to take up one of those large bases. But how cool is that? That's going to paint out so nice. I plan to basically contrast with a little highlight. I'm a big fan of Duncan Rhodes Tooth and Coats. That's my paint of choice to use. But I also have a lot of the Army Painter speed paints 2.0, and I have some 1.0. I've never experienced the issue with the paint bleeding from the 1.0. I hear it is an issue, but it's never really affected me. So, and I like it because I can do blends and stuff like that. So, isn't that cool though? But look how chunky that guy is. I mean, these are really nice miniatures, and they've got some weight to them. They're going to hold up nice. I'm trying to think if I have anything else painted for these guys. Oh, here's a different Trollkin. You can see they got the funny. I went for the kind of warrior mask, as you can see. Look at that axe. Look at that, they're brutal. And these guys, again, they go on a single base, and they'll. I think you can put 4. I think that's 4. Yeah, they go on a single base. So pretty awesome. But I've got quite the pile of shame here. So I mean, I've got sprues upon sprues here. I bought the big Nord set, and then I bought a bunch of the. I bought City State separately. I need to get a few more models for the City State. But I just wanted you guys like, oh, here's a perfect example. Here's half of one of the trolls. See, there's his foot. So it goes together. I've been using the Tamiya thin plastic cement. Works great on these things. You squeeze them together really good, and then just run a thin line over the seam, and then you can hit it with after it starts to dry, you can hit it with a sanding stick. I'm a big fan of these. If you don't have these, go on Amazon and buy yourself a pack of sanding sticks. These things are amazing. They come in different grits, and you get a pack. You get a bunch of them in one pack. So that's one of the pieces of the trolls. Here's the front to that troll right there. So you can see. Oh, nope, that's the same side. Same piece. I gotta find the other half. Ooh. I got all kinds of cool. Nope, that's the same one. I may not have a piece broken off already. Yeah, I don't have one, I think. Maybe. Oh yeah, I do. Yay. Now what did I do at the back? There we go. So here's a different Ugger. You can see I love the faces on them, and they've got like the snowblind mask. You know, when you're in the cold, you can. I don't know how well you can see that if it's going to focus. Come on. Get my ring out of the way. Maybe that's. There we go. See the cool mask. So yeah, a little bit of flash on there on the bottom, but again, that'll stand off with a sanding stick. I love the giant Tetsubo, the beat stick. You can see I just put these guys together. I didn't do any sanding. I was just trying to get them together, and then we found out we got our house, and we started packing like mad creatures, and they just got put in a box and forgotten about. So this is one of the halves. It's not the right half though, but you can see pretty much how it goes together. It's not the right one though. They do have specific ones. They're kind of keyed and they fit together. You could make that work, but that's not the right one that goes. So you can see there's a huge gap there. But anyway, I have more Nord than I have City State. Um, but I do have the city-state hoplites. And the cool thing is you can build either hoplites or 12 hoplites or phalangites, which is the spear. And I already started building one. Look at that. I didn't even know that. Let's see, are the bases in here? So this is a newer set, so the plastic's a little bit better. Let's move that out of the way. You can see plastic's a little bit better. We've got capes, and they come in multi-parts. You glue them all together, but I think it's a really nice kit. And we got 3 of the half kits, and then we've got some bigger kits. Oh, there's one of the bases. Here's a bigger set. There's the pole arms. You can see all the different pieces. And the cool thing about the city-states is they're kind of mechanical / human, whereas the Nords are all about brutality, and they hit really hard. They move kind of fast. They're not the fastest moving army, but they hit really hard. That's the Nords thing. They don't have a lot of staying power. Some of them don't. Some of them do. Yeah, I got all the bases down there. That's just your basic card. Here we go. There's their card, again, with the QR code on there. There's the phalangites, and then there should be another card for the hoplites, which I think is in here. Minotaur. Yeah, there's the hoplite card. So, and then I have the Minotaurs. I've already put them together and painted them. I've showed them off on the channel, but I'll probably break them out just to show everybody again at another date when I'm actually painting. They painted up really nice. They came out so nice. I was very happy with the paint job on them. I am super excited about getting these back to the table. I do have a friend here in Duluth that does play. I found this game quite by accident. I think it was Play on Tabletop, not Play on Tabletop. I forgot the YouTube channel that I actually found it from. You have enough to make 12 miniatures here, so you get 3 of these so you can play it either as skirmish or as Last Argument of Kings, which is what I really like. And it even says on the side here. I'll put these all down here and get them out of the way. Get it back in the box. It even says on the side here, if I can get that. It even says, contains, city-state hoplites, and it is for, oh, there it is. So Conquest, Last Argument of Kings, and First Blood, and it's the miniature collection. The other neat thing they did when I bought the box set is you get 2 rule books. You get the Last Argument of Kings rule book, and then you get the First Blood. I bought the First Blood box set, 2 starter set, and it came with, I don't remember what it came with, but it came with 2 First Blood rule books, which I thought was cool. I gave one away to a friend. But I've got both rule books here. These are living rule books. You can go on the website and update them or look at them and then download the new rules for free. They have a very robust army builder. I also got some magnets. They're a little bit too thick for the 32 millimeter bases, but they're perfect for the big bases. And I will still use them. And I have a ton of them. I bought a smoking deal on Amazon, so you can't beat the price. They were so cheap. But yeah, so that's a lot of magnets. Let's see. How many can I fit in there? Fit up to there, I think. So many magnets. I'm fighting with magnets here. It's so much fun. Oh, my wife is coming down the stairs. So, all right, that's it for today. I just wanted to record a quick video, show you guys what's coming to the channel. Like and subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. Put in notes if you want to see the videos of me putting these together and painting them. I think what I'd like to do is put them all together first and then start painting them. So let me know what you think in the notes below. As always, peace and hair grease, and as always, be nice. Thanks, guys.